All right, Alex, this was quite the saga this morning. Tell me what happened.
Well, so yeah, as you said, I put this I put this up. I submitted it to be published last night. You have to go through Amazon's publishing process, which I'm familiar with. I've actually written what Amazon calls Kindle singles. I was one of the early writers back when they liked me. They encouraged me to write for them. So I put it up last night, and I knew it took a few hours. I figured, I'll check this morning, and it didn't seem to be up. And then I checked my email and I saw this note from them that you read. And I thought to myself, this is crazy. Among other things, by the way, among the sources that I quote in the booklet are the CDC. So, if they're not good enough, I don't know who is. And this is totally non-transparent, the process of what Amazon is allowing to be published. They didn't explain why. They didn't give me any recourse. If I didn't happen to know you and some other, really important people like Elon Musk to make my case for me online and on Twitter, I would have had no recourse. And I don't know how often this is happening to other people. None of us can know because it's not like YouTube. It's not like stuff is getting posted and pulled. You have to go through the Amazon system to get on. And so they can just block things on the way in. And I'd make another really important point about this too, a couple of points. One is Amazon is benefiting from these lockdowns right now. Amazon is the second most valuable company in the world. Amazon's distribution has become more valuable as retail stores have closed, and they are benefiting. They are not a neutral observer here. And Amazon, basically, people say, oh, well, they're a private company. They're not subject to the First Amendment. Well, they are a private company, but they're basically utility at this point when it comes to books because they have so little competition. Barnes & Noble basically doesn't exist at this point. It's closed in many places. And even before that, Amazon dominated both ebooks and a lot of trade publishing, a lot of essentially adult sales. So the idea that Amazon is like Joe's bookstore, where if Joe doesn't like, a cookbook, he doesn't have to cover or he doesn't have to, buy it and sell it to people. That is not what this is. This
well, it was
is
obviously political.
Powerful company.
Yeah, it's obviously political, and here's why. I mean, this was a really smart thing that you did, actually. You went through and looked at some of the other books that were for sale on Amazon to see, are they being very strict with their censorship? Do they remove anything that's controversial or that could be offensive or that's downright evil? What did you find?
You can buy Mein Kampf on Amazon. You can buy the Unabomber Manifesto on Amazon. You can buy the Anarchist Cookbook, which will literally tell you how to make explosive devices on Amazon. And by the way, I'm okay with that. We live in a free society. As long the books that really, the only books that should be banned are stuff that is sort of like specifically telling adults, for example, how to target children for sex and stuff like that. That stuff is beyond the pale, I think, even in a free society. By the way, Amazon had those books for sale in 2010. They had a book about that, and they refused to take it down initially when they got in trouble for it, and only after a big outcry did they pull that. So their view of what's acceptable is pretty broad, but it doesn't extend to narratives about COVID that might challenge not even the official narrative, but just give you some perspective on what the mainstream media has not told you.
And your booklet, like I said, I've read it already. It's very good. I recommend that all of my viewers go to Amazon, look up the unreported, what is the title? The Unreported Truths About COVID-19 and Lockdowns. You can also just look up Alex Berenson, buy it, read it. It's a compilation of data that it comes out of government, it's come out of scientific studies, and it shows the truth of what we're facing here, which the mainstream media doesn't always, pretty rarely reports actually, and public policy officials aren't taking into account as they continue to extend these lockdowns. Empower yourself with the truth and with the data. It's really good. The other thing, Alex, that I wanted to bring up is Amazon essentially told you that it was an error that caused your book not to be published. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm just cynical. I don't buy that it was just an error. I think that they just said that after they got caught.